Okay, good morning everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am Lori-Lynn. I am the High Priestess, and I am a medium. I am a channeler. I receive my messages from Spirit. It's continual and constant. I don't read cards per se, even though I do pick a card, pick a pile. What I do is present what Spirit says to me, so I just channel the messages as they come. And so if you like my reading, then please subscribe, like the video, share, and I'm going to be putting together, or trying to put together, a contest of some sort to figure it out, because I really do want to reach as many people as possible. And so if you can do that, that'd be awesome. It's up to you. And so I'm going to pick, just give us the overall theme with these two dice. So, love is in the air. First card is a heart. And the second card is the Scorpio, which I have been picking out of here for quite some time, which is kind of cool because I am the Scorpio. Got to find it again. It's there. Somewhere. There. Can't find my Scorpio. Anyways, so maybe there's love in the air for Scorpio, which would mean intensity, so perhaps today is a very intense day for love. So my readings are intuitively inspired, and so I'm always going to present what is the message that's necessary for today, to think about it as you move forward. The lesson can continue from yesterday, can continue on, but what is it most today? That there's always something in the day that arises that we can say, wow, I need to look at this different. So this is just to allow for a different perspective. That's the hope always. And so I have 3 piles. The first pile is the rose quartz moon, and it comes with the number 12. Now, the number 12 just seems to be coming forth in so many of the readings. It kind of is boggling my mind a little bit, because what that's saying is there's a huge transformation in the air. This would be, with the rose quartz, is about love or self-love. And so maybe people are starting to think differently. Perhaps people are starting to think, maybe this pandemic is going to allow me to see life differently, see my family differently, see how I do things differently. Perhaps that's what it's about, or maybe there's a coming together. So that's pile number 1, which is the rose quartz. Again, here's the rose quartz half moon. I'd say a quarter moon. And the second one, I don't know what it's called, but it's stunning. And it's the bluish rock stone. It's gorgeous. If anybody's ever been to the Merrimack Caverns, it's just incredible there. And that comes with the number 9. So there are, within some relationship or within what's going on in your life at this time, you're coming to an end of a cycle. So when that comes up for pile number 2, if you're choosing that, it's what do you need to do to move to the next level? And so because you're coming to an end of a cycle, it means new things are going to open up for you. Okay, pile number 3 is the feather. It's actually a feather earring with, I'll call them diamonds. That'll be feather earring with diamonds, and it comes again with the number 12 on it. So this is almost like you'll be spreading your wings. And the other message they just said to me is looking for that pair, that other side of the commitment that you're looking for. Okay, so it's pile 1, which is the rose quartz right here. Pile 2, which is the blue and brown stone. And pile 3, which is the diamond wing. It's absolutely, it's stunning. Sorry, I'm kind of getting taken away by it. So I've also put 2 cards because at the end of all of my readings, if the reading isn't just about love or commitment, I'm going to, because a lot of people really do want to know about what's happening with their love life, where it's going. And so I'm going to always end with a couple of picks in that regard. Okay, so we are going to do, this is pile number 1, and the number 12. And let's see where we go to. So I want to use this deck again. I used it yesterday, and actually I liked the way the reading went. And so again, this is coming, oh, all the cards just fell all over the ground. So try that over again. So I'm going to say first with pile number 1, as you're where you are right now, and you are moving forward in a direction, it's about a choice within the direction that you're moving. So it's to find out what you're separating or you're suppressing from yourself, what's kind of holding you back, but you are in the midst of a great change, and it's almost, what are your choices to make? And in making those choices, what are the values of why you're making those choices? So the first card that comes up, the card of suppression, or what is blocking you, and it's the 9 of Wands. Now the 9 of Wands is all about, it's all about gaining control of our emotions. It's about thinking. Wands are about making choices, about doing, about, so what I said in the beginning about, you know where you want to be. And if you look at this card, you do know you want to be over here. These are calmer waters. This is just a beautiful building. So you know that's where you want to be. You just don't know how to get there. Well, it does, because you're over here on this ship, and you're caught up in emotions. You may be caught up in excess chaos within your life. So it may not have been a chaos that's going on right now, but it may be chaos that just built up. And so there may be fear involved in that chaos. So it's almost to just let go. Just let go. Quit banging against the rocks. Keep banging against all of the things. And what Spirit just said is quit banging against your thoughts. And because the thoughts that you're banging against are thoughts that aren't so pretty, that aren't doing you any justice. They're holding you back. It's to see yourself in that light, that beauty, that it's almost like when you get to the calmer waters, there's the image in my head is that you at the beginning of that path, and you're almost in awe that you got to that pathway. And so you take it all in, and you walk forward almost tall and proud, because behind you is all spirit. Spirit are your guides, are your past loved ones, showing you support, showing you guidance, showing you love. It's where they want you to go. So they're saying, you're ready, you're ready, you're ready. 9's the number to transfer over to the next level. And so you're closing off one area of your life, moving into another area of your life. And so because of some of the things that went on, it's almost human nature to, be a little bit scared. And so see that calmer water on the other side. Stop, think about it, figure out in a calm, direct manner how to get to that space, how to get to that place, and then move forward. But you have to make the choice. That's what you want to do. So what balances this card? The yin and the yang. What's keeping you stuck, and what gets out. Wow, 2 cards that both deal with ego. So the first card is the Devil, and the second card is the 5 of Wands. And both of these cards talk about ego. This card talks much about how ego is playing your game, or you're playing. They have you trapped in a game, and the game's in your head. So as we said, you're not able to break free. It's like someone saying, hey, I can make you do this. It's okay. Spirit just said that something from your past, it may have been something that you did. So you may have, there's 2 messages coming through. You may have done something that, that made you feel unworthy, that made you, stop and take, a breath back. And it almost caused you to fall. And that's all in your head. We can make a choice to move forward in our life outside of the ego, because every single day is a new day. And this also has to do with vulnerability. Because of the past, you're very vulnerable to, and that does speak to the first card, you're very vulnerable to the pathway, because you've seen the manipulation, and there's usually someone that's created that manipulation within your world. And so it's to cut those chains. It's to cut the ties that bind you to them. We typically always know who we're manipulated by. It's not a secret. We can see it. We can know it. We'll be angry about it. We'll be, upset, all these different things. But what we really need to do is release it. And so the 5 of Wands is about, so to balance that with coming together with another person, and understanding that you can tame the ego. There's not just the bad side of the ego. There's also a good side of the ego. That side of the ego that gives you pride, that gives you confidence. It's the other side which, takes away from. And that side is the side that takes away from, as in being, takes away your, emotional support. It takes away your dignity. It takes away your ability to see the lessons within the experiences. And we're always told that that's what we need to do, because if we can't find the lesson, if we can't see the growth, then we can't move forward. And so it's to be able to see that growth. It's to see that essence and to move forward, knowing that now we've grown, and in pride. So the next card in the meditation, wow, this is beautiful, is the card of the Tower. And this card is really about the rising up of, and it's as we go through this journey. So it may be, and I'm not going to lie about this, is that it may be quite the journey for you. And it may be, it's necessary. That's what you have to know, first and foremost. This is a necessary part of your movement to the next level, to the next stage. And you are going in that next stage. And it really comes back down to love of self. And so either you rise out or you crumble down. But the Tower always shows that you can persevere through that storm, through the storm that was created within your life. Again, there's just, it's almost like this card is, pretty similar. It's not, but similar to the 2. There's going through all of this turmoil and chaos. And here he is going through turmoil and chaos, and the, slaying that eagle, that dragon. But it's things have to fall apart. So in that meditation, you can do a meditation where you cut cords with all of the emotional baggage that you're carrying around, releasing that, blessing it, forgiving it, so that you are able to move forward in the light and truth of who you are. So then, picture that, all the cord cutting, and then picture yourself giving yourself confidence, the calmness of the waters, the emotional balance, the emotional intelligence, that having the ability to stand tall and proud, with your decisions and with your growth. So the next three cards that come up are the cards of the body, the mind, and the heart. And so it represents where your body is within this situation. Wow. Okay, so the first card is of Temperance. First thing that Spirit says comes to mind is the fact that perhaps you're taken out. There's a lot of chaos within here, and a lot of, I'm going to say darkness, but not for everybody an overwhelming darkness. I can say that I still suffer from some darkness of my past trauma, but I have found a way to balance that or to work through it, and I continually do work through it. And it's the card of Temperance, because that's what I most want is balance. And this is regards to your body, so it's the feelings that your body goes through, and it's so you really have to bring those energies in to change that energy. Temperance wants to fill up that cup, to fill it up with all of the love and kindness and goodness, all of those sorts of things, rather than filling it up with drugs and alcohol and bad thoughts. And I'm not saying that, having a drink, a glass of wine or two or three, every once in a while, or having a glass of wine every day, it doesn't matter to me. It's the reason for doing it. What I had to myself determine was I knew I did emotional eating. And so every time I went to eat, I would ask myself why I was eating, like what was the point? And if it's not to nourish you, it's to suppress something. It's to hide something, hide feelings. And the same goes for drinking. Any kind of addiction is an addiction, whether it's smoking, whether it's addicted to another person, whether it's addicted to colors, whatever. An addiction is an addiction. And we deal with each addiction in a different manner, but it all does come down to the self-love. So this is about your body and getting to know the feelings and getting to know why, getting to know how to balance that and how to surround ourselves with this beautiful light so that we can fill our cup up with all that nurtures us and nourishes us. The next card that comes up, and this is actually such a beautiful card because we've had these wands that have been so traumatic, and it's the Ace of Wands. And this is the card of the noggin, of the head, of knowing, of knowing how and when to take action. And in this card, you see somebody that's very strong and powerful, and he is holding up the world, which means that in your meditation, in your mind, in your thoughts, in your quiet time, know that you have the world in the palm of your hand. You have all of these options. And so take that time to ground yourself in where you want to go, what you want to do, who you want to be, and then become. Be that person. Take those steps. Take that action step. Take that time to choose to choose to walk with pride and take action. Okay, so the card in regards to your heart. Whew, okay, so the card is the Seven of I'm going to call it the Seven of Sorrows. And it's not, it's the Seven of Swords, but it is the Seven of Swords because Seven of Swords, I have to call it Seven of Sorrows. It's like you're carrying around, look what he's doing is he's carrying around all these swords, and that's, all these sorrows is what he's carrying around. This is the card within your heart. All those sorrows are what is leading you. It's not in the back, it's not in the past. You're seeing it forward. Yet there's a doorway right there that you could put those down and you can walk into a doorway. Your heart has to, it's saying your heart has to want to make that turn. So you have to make that decision. So this action plan that's so ready for you, that so wants you to make decisions, that so wants you to be strong, wants you to put down those swords and choose the unknown. And when we choose the unknown, we choose truth, and we choose to trust and have faith. Okay, the final card in this, wow, is the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is about how do we take this knowledge? And so you've learned to take this knowledge, and you learn to be you're learning to use your knowledge to take your steps. You're not at the next step, but this step is important for you to gather up knowledge and gather up your integrity and so in some instances, I do believe this about a new job or about a new work, or it's just about a new lifestyle in general. And so it's like, this is what I have to offer. This is what I can offer. And I want to build upon. And so maybe you need a little more knowledge at this time of what you're building upon. So it's like you're ready to move forward. You just need, okay, I think you need to either read or I was going to say, or, watch something, but I do believe you need to educate yourself in some degree of knowledge, so that you can learn to walk away from what doesn't serve you, unattach yourself from the things from the past. So once you've unattached yourself from the past is when you can move forward into a new direction. I'm going to use my deck next to help us to define where we're at itself. And so first card that represents yourself is the Spirit of the Divine. And that's the understanding that we are all divine children of God. We are all divine, we are all loving, and we all deserve truth and caring. And to sit in that energy, that's who you're supposed to be. So you need to make a commitment to the peace rather than words or actions that speak against peace. When we're constantly angry, or we're, upset, and we're swearing, and we're, cursing, and all of those things, it's not being true to who we are. It's being angry with where we are. And that's not your journey. Your journey is about self-love. Your journey is about peace, commitment, connection to the divine. And so that's where you need to, it's interesting that I put it right on top of the Tower card. So as that Tower comes down, what it is, it's like that layer of onions that's being unpeeled one at a time. You're taking those lessons that you're learning and you're dissipating them. The energy changes. Energy doesn't disappear. Energy is fluid and it changes. So what you want to do is change the perspective or change the intention. So where you might have seen somebody, there's words hurt, words matter, and they do, and it's how we take them. And either we take them on and say, yeah, that confirms what I already believe about myself, or we say, no, I am peace and I am love. And so maybe that's just through the day-to-day, continually say to yourself, I am peace and I am love, and I am walking in that light. and find that strength and that balance, that commitment to yourself, the temperance that needs to be found to move you in the direction that you want to go, to make you feel whole again. That's the major lesson. I don't pre-do anything, but that's the lesson within there. And so this is taking back. This is the wholeness that you were meant to be. But I have to make this clear that we choose the path that we're on. We have chosen that prior to us being here, coming down into this lifetime. We have chosen that for specifically for lessons within our soul's journey. Being on earth and being in this lifetime is so much about our lessons, our soul journey. And so you chose these lessons to come down here and to build upon with strength, and to build upon in unity and in light and in love. And so you want to feel whole again. This is, an interesting message that they just sent. And I'm not entirely sure how this works, to be honest, but it's really a bringing together of your soul, that your soul that is within the heavens, which is in your community, in the spirit world, I guess is easiest to say, and you're connecting that with your soul that's here on earth. And what that is connecting to that. You got your crown chakra, and about 8 inches above your crown chakra is your soul star chakra. So it's connecting all that and connecting it to the divine, so that you're walking in complete wholeness, and you're trusting in the journey, and you're trusting in the lessons. So the cards of the yin and the yang, and the yin and the yang, the cards of the shadow self that comes through, and it is the wisdom of the crow. And in the position of your shadow side, it really is taking apart that it speaks of all of that behavior that was learned, that isn't the behavior that you want to present. So it's cleaning up that behavior. It's taking note and reassessing it, and it's owning. And so you're going to have to do some work on your shadow side, that side that, from your past may have held you back. And so that you can work without fear and walk through that door that seems dark. But if you notice here that there is light, and there may be light within here, you don't know that. You don't. And on the side of the reveal self, it is the wisdom of the bear. And so you do have that strength, you do have that love, you do have that commitment, you do have that inner knowing. And pay attention to dreams, pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to anything that comes. I've spoken a few times about somnambulistic sleeping. I don't know if that's the right term, but it's the period just before you fall asleep, and that's my most incredibly favorite time. I actually just like to go to sleep so that I can feel that, and what I do is I get messages, and the messages flash before me, and as they flash before me, I jump up and I write them down, because those are messages that I don't ever want to forget. And I get some really cool messages, and they're definitely not all about me. They could be about a situation that's happening. They could be about I can't believe I'm going to say this, but they can be about a murder that's happened, and what happened within this, and the reasonings, but it just flashes in front of me, and so I know. But because it's the bear, so there's a very mothering, caring, nurturing, And so that's what's needed, is to really love and nurture yourself. But this is in a really mature manner. It's not from a place of fear. It's from a place of love and caring, because that's what Bear is about. Bear is about that nurturing, that caring, that working with spirit, just knowing and relying on that movement forward. And when you need to be strong, it's your voice, and it's speaking out of your truth. Okay, so I'm going to get a couple of messages that might be helpful within for you. So pile number 1, can you give us a message that will help them move forward in their journey? Okay, there is a lot about here, about that light, that spark. And the first card that comes up is be original. Explore your true talents. Don't copy or pass off others' work as your own. Step out on faith and bring forth something unique and fresh. And that's what it's about, is no two people can ever be the same. You can learn from people, you can experience what they're going through, but you can't learn their lessons. You can't be their lesson. You can only learn your own lesson. And that's because we're all here to learn our own lessons. And so be an original, be who you're meant to be. That's about probably much of what happened as a child, and feeling that is because you weren't feeling almost a part of, I'm not saying you're separate from your family, but you may not have had the same interests. And this could have also happened at school, where you felt so like you had to be one. You had to be the same, where you never wanted to be the same. You wanted to be different. You wanted to be creative. And so it's time to express your own creativity and delight in the mystery of all that amuses you, of what you can learn with your creativity, of finding your light, finding that love within yourself, and being creative. I do think this has to do with manifesting at some points, but what has to happen is that you need to balance. And so when you're, I'm going back to the Temperance card of too much of one thing is unhealthy. Too much of any one thing is unhealthy. So balance your life, balance it, love, family, friends, God, spirituality, yourself, work, having fun. You want to improve your emotional, spiritual, and your physical well-being, and that's that Temperance card. So that's that feeling, so that you create this aura and energy and vibration around you that brings into your world all that you truly want. Now, kind of interesting is that many years ago, I hope you can hear that. Many years ago, I made a statement that what I wanted to do was create a community of like-minded individuals. And that's really, I sort of, that was what I put out. And that was what I wanted, was to create that world. And as I set that intention, that's what happened. Because I walked towards that and started walking towards things that weren't serving me, such as, I'm not saying I was an alcoholic. It's not me to have the addictive personality, but I did like to have a drink or two. And so all of a sudden I wasn't needing that, or it wasn't a part of, it was so much a part of my upbringing, my life, but it wasn't something that honored me. It was just something that I did. So I don't all this. It was almost like I don't all of a sudden, and that's the truth. So another message that we're getting is igniting your joy. This journey as you move forward is to ignite your own joy. It's to ignite the love within yourself. It's to ignite your passions and that light inside of yourself. And it's about, as you learn all these lessons and move forward, to move forward and then to be able to plant your dream seeds. But you have to plant them when you're in a state of purity, of love, and in that vibration. It can't be in a vibration of rejection or self-doubt. It needs to be in a vibration of love and nurturing. But you can do that once you've walked through that pathway. And Spirit is around. Isn't that interesting? And it's to really understand that that inner wellspring is your link to abundance. And that link is connected to the divine. It's connected to God. It's connected to the Creator, however you see it. And that's for you to capture, so to speak. Okay, so the cards in regards to the love messages, excuse me, why I would do that, I'm not quite sure, but I did. So the cards in regards to your love messages are, the first one that came out, Romance Angels, is this is for those, either you want change, you're looking for change within a relationship, or you're looking for a relationship. So the first card that comes up is very soon. So that should give you a little bit of hope, and clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And that is outside of the fear. Everything is outside of the fear. So decide what you want. Do you want to be fearful, or do you want to be in a relationship that's loving and kind and gentle? And the next card that comes up is the past life relationship. And so when you meet this person, or if you know within that person, so sometimes a relationship, even with a twin flame or a soulmate or the person that we're supposed to be with, like knocking my glasses into my head. When you're in that relationship, whether, no matter where it be, and sometimes even a soulmate relationship or twin flame relationship doesn't always last, and you have to make the decision. So once you have made that decision, walk towards it, clear your energy, see how you may be conflicting against what you're wanting. And because this person feels so right, so good, if you are conflicting, if you are pushing them away, let down that guard. Yeah, because the next card is forgiving and learning. So there is something about the relationship that does need to be forgiven. And so, and once we forgive and learn, it's up to us to create and balance what we want, where we're going. And wow. Okay, so this is from the Hermit Tarot. She does go by the Hermit Tarot, and I don't actually know what her name is, if she's even said it, but it's the one channel that I absolutely love to learn from and to watch. She's pretty amazing at what she does, and she does channel, and not against anybody, but she channels truth. Okay. So anyways, the first card is Sex with You. So very soon, meaning that that's really what they're thinking of. And so perhaps that part is an extension of the past life relationships, because sex is one thing, but you want love. Well, I say you want love. Okay. And so, but the physical aspect of that is a coming together. So I kind of almost wish this card wasn't sex, but was making love. And that's making the decision of whether you just want to have sex or you want to make love. You want to be passionate. You want to have this past life relationships tells me there's a passion for love, a passion for, and maybe somebody within this relationship is just learning that. They may think that love is sex, that sex is love. Sex is a result, is a coming together of the truest, most magnificent, passionate love. That's true sex commitment. That's making love. Okay. Wow, there's a lecture. The next card that comes up with the past life. I just dream and wish for everything. And so what just came up with this is that your person is sitting in thoughts of you. They're sitting in thoughts. And they do dream and wish for everything. They're just not coming forward and speaking. So when you do, so this forgiving and learning, I need to find out what message comes with that. It's going to be very interesting. Because, okay, that's what it is. The message is, do you even care? So even though they know all that they know, even that they feel all that they feel, they still wonder, do you even care? That's their insecurity. That's not your insecurity. So don't chase after it. Just be who you are and be that party, and then be willing and open to forgive as they have gone through their process, as they're learning. You can stick by them, you can stand by them, but stand by them in support and learning yourself, and setting up some boundaries so that you can move forward making love rather than just having sex. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, pile number 1, that is your reading. And I hope that it brought some clarity to your situation. And I thank you and for allowing me. 42, 10, and we have blue and the number 9. I have to write these things down. So, hi, welcome, pile 2 with the incredible stone. So we look at this stone. It's just actually, sometimes you wish you could allow people to touch it, but there's a picture in the stone. I'd actually like to paint it as a full painting because it's quite unique and beautiful. So the number that comes up is the 9. So this is about coming to the end of a cycle. And we're going to keep our Hermit Tarot cards, our Romance Angel cards, separate. And for this pile, I'm going to use the Tarot deck by A.E. White. And okay, so I just have a sense of anxiety that just went through me. And somehow I have this belief, this anxiety, it's not mine. Although I do get anxiety, but this is not my anxiety. So I think you're at the end of a cycle and you're moving through, but I think that this end of a cycle has been so draining on you. So it's almost like you just want to release all that anxiety that had been built up and move forward. You're ready to move forward. So what needs to happen? What are you resisting? And the first card that comes up is the Knight of Swords. And so you really are resisting taking action. And it's because you're fearing action, because it's not thought out action. It's just, and sometimes it doesn't have to be thought out. And I think that you're stuck in the period of thinking without taking the action. And so because the Knight of Swords, can be more immature, it's almost like they're being caught between their truth and what's in their heart. And so this is saying that you need to sometimes just do it and just take that first step. And then you can kind of sit back and see where the next step is going to lead you to. But you need to take the first step. So there's two cards that balance that card out. Okay, it's not wanting to go anywhere. Is the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen. Oh, wow, Queen of Pentacles. This is actually quite beautiful. So when I was saying you're in a place that you're ending a cycle and you're moving forward. So this is this taking one step. So this is balanced out by believing that there is lots out for you. This is the Wheel of Fortune. So it's picking. So it's just taking that step. Take a leap of faith. Do that leap, make that chance, take that opportunity that maybe in the back of your head says, I'm not sure, but take it. Just take it, because you're ending the cycle that you were in before that needs to go, that you're now ready to move forward. Number 25 just came to mind. So whether that's important to you or not, I don't know, but the number 25 just came. And so take that Wheel of Fortune and know that you work towards it and it's time to. This is the Queen of Pentacles. So you got the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Pentacles that is balancing one another. So we're looking, the Queen of Pentacles is so filled with honor and trust and stability. And so you're trying to find the pathway that provides it the most. What's necessary is to take the step. So let's say perhaps you want to start a new business, okay? And so you don't know how to do it. Well, how about just taking one step, saying, I want to create a business, and then create a business plan. Just get that far. You have to, though, know that this opportunity is available to you. You have to believe it. You can't just go into it thinking that it's never going to happen. You need to do it from this place that is honest, in integrity. It's going to be that passion that drives your force. You're driving forth integrity, in love, and it's going to bring you that abundance that you so want. And it's ready and it's there for you. So the card of so far this reading pile too it's absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. So the card that comes in the meditation is the Nine of Pentacles, one of my favorite cards. And the Nine of Pentacles is really about coming to terms with your bounty. It's coming to terms. It's a calmness, a gentleness. If you can look at this, see the card, and she's got this bird, and the bird has landed on her because it's allowed. She's allowed, opened up to allow for this abundance. So all that the steps that's brought you to this place, and that's what you have to see, is look back and see how your life has brought you forward to where you are right now, and know that all the lessons, all the experiences, that's what wisdom is. So you learned the wisdom, and now you're ready to apply it and to move forward, to sit in bounty, to sit in calmness, to sit in pleasure and in love and all that you want. And watching, sorry, there's another message that's coming through, and I think it has to do this is going to provide the stability that you've wanted. And I think it provides a stability on, I know I'm not going to be able to say this right, but of two sides really standing strong on both sides, but being committed. Oh, I don't know if I can say this correctly, but being committed. And it's like you're both grounded in your own strength, if that makes sense. You're balanced. you're stronger together than you are apart. So this, coming together, knowing who you are exactly, taking those steps that are needed. So the message in regards to your body and what your body is feeling and doing and taking over, wow, is the Hierophant. Ooh, maybe we could have a little bit more of a higher card than that. So your body, and you may be experiencing now this Hierophant energy. The Hierophant is the opposite of the High Priestess, which is my counterpart. And so this is the feeling of knowing, the feeling of, I was going to say all knowing, but allow your body. So what this is saying is you've learned to walk along your journey almost by feeling, if that's making sense, but not doubt, not fear, out of an intuitive, but it's a very proud, prominent, intuitive place. I also believe that people will be able to feel your energy, very strong, and it's almost as though you're next. All that you've accumulated and learned, that you've learned to help others, and so people are going to be drawn to you, drawn to that energy, or there may be a message. You could even be a teacher. It could be a message, but it's in a high position where people come to you, and to recognize the reason that they are coming to you. I just have to get a second here because this is really there's a lot of releasing that had to have taken place, and that's why it's going to a new beginning. So it's almost like you're going to grieve a past. There's nothing in here says anything about walking away, but there is sort of a walking away that has evolved you, and it's a walking away from really all that doesn't serve, but transforming that energy. So it's not like having to leave anything behind, but transforming that energy, transforming that situation to one that serves you rather than causes disservice. So the next card that comes out, wow, is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords means you are coming out of that. This is the card of your noggin, of your thinking. So you have to be able to know, to think. If you've had sleepless nights, if you've had, pain, or if you've had, it's being strong enough to see that you're going to put all those decisions. And when I talked before, is seeing those decisions as strengths rather than weaknesses, is what's going to move you forward. To say, look where I've come from, look how far I've gone. Messages came out that maybe you need to write, maybe you're to write a book, maybe you're just to write in your journal, but there is something that you need to teach others. But now you have that, and it's going to be a slow process because this is your mind, because you're wanting to think, where do I want to go? So where you've been led to, you're actually also, as you're moving forward, is thinking and making the decisions based on this new being that you've become. The third card that comes out is sixes. So there's, this is about love. It's some projection, whether it's, love of self, but this card is the Six of Pentacles, and this is where we come, and this is the card of the heart. And within your heart, what you really, truly, mostly want are part of this, and within your goals, within your life, within, whether you just have that excess money, but you are going to have excess money because it's somehow super important for you to give back. To give back to those who need it, to give back to those who have helped you, to give back to yourself that which you've lost. But this is about giving back, but it's giving back from the heart. You're not giving back because It, you're not giving back to receive something. You're giving back from love, you're giving back from love, from a place of love and commitment to the greater being, the greater good of all. And the final card is the card, oh gosh, is the card of the Six of Cups. This is our third six in a row. And this card is the card of nostalgia. Nostalgia, and it's also a card of, I'm going to say true love, but true love of the past. And I think part of that, this is, you know, it can involve another person, and it can involve, you know, someone coming into your life and bringing you something that you knew from your past. Because within themselves, they have found that pride. They have found that strength. They have found that knowing that together is better than apart. Together there's more strength. And so they're willing to bring you what they have, what they can. Where prior to this, they were afraid because they didn't think they had enough, and not even knowing what enough is. And if it's a monetary enough, then they've gone through this huge transformation that monetary isn't the only all be. Money is good, there's no question. But that money, that financial abundance, is going to come when you're together, but it's not the end all be all. Everything has to balance one another. And so you are in a position that this change is coming for you, and it may involve someone from your past coming to either make amends or showing you that they have changed, that things have, you know, opened up for them. And what I'm going to do next is my cards and seeing where you're at through my deck. I still have this feeling of anxiety, and it's really insane. So whatever's making you or somebody anxious at this point, learn to take a deep breath in and then release. And just be quiet for a second. And calm those energies within yourself. Maybe the energies that's coming up is excitement, that you're wanting to take that step and you're ready and you will take that step. Okay, so for my deck, the first two cards represent the shadow and the shadow side and the reveal side. And the two cards that the shadow side is the wisdom of the wolf. Okay, and I believe what I've talked about prior to this was that together is better. And the wisdom of the wolf, his wisdom is understanding the importance of family, community coming together. But he also understands that it's important to be a leader, to be himself, to be unique, to shout his joy, shout his passion, and embrace that with courage. So taking that step courageously and being able to sense that's what's around you. I love to watch wolves. They're just such incredible animals, and they are about family, but they all have their own unique position. Everybody has a role. So define the role that you're in your life. Define the role that you want to be. Know who you are. Know who you want to be authentically. Not like somebody else, but by yourself. And the card on the reveal side is the card of the elephant. Favorite all time ever. Love elephants, love elephants, love elephants. That's all I'm going to say. Elephants are very humble. They're very royal. They're very regal. They also have this incredible knowledge, this gift for knowing, and this gift for guidance. And they have this ancient wisdom because their wisdom is always brought forward into the next generation, into the next, I'm going to say family member, but it goes through generation and generation. And what their greatest gift is to remove obstacles and barriers. But you have to be able to see them. So in the revealed position, is that something that you're really good at? So embrace that. Really, really, truly embrace that. And know that that you can, as you walk ahead, that when you see, we call them red flags, but when you see an obstacle, step back and ask yourself, can I learn from this obstacle? If you can, move forward, because there may be something that you need to learn. And you'll know that because that's your intuition. Okay, the last card is that's not the last card, the Warrior of Fire. And so the Warrior of Fire is not my favorite card, but it is the card of the socializer, and it's the card of somebody that's outgoing. For me personally, it's a card that always comes up when a certain person always contacts me or is going through situations. But I can actually use that as an example, and this is very rarely do I step outside of channeling and going into my ego. But this person has taught me he's very social. He has expansive energy, he has strength. He has so much love. He has so much persistence. And he's also restless, but he's warm and gentle and kind. And so the Warrior of Fire is passionate, and he's charming, and he's caring. But he doesn't always know how to deal with all of that. So it's saying that, being in that fire, again, we're going back to this king that just needs to take that step to make make those choices, but make the choices from the heart, from the place of love, and not from anger, not from explosion, not from anger at all. Make it from a place of love. What anger can do is give you the passion to move forward, but then you have to step back and remove the ego and act out of love. And the final card of truth within this is that patience is your friend. And so a major lesson that you're learning at this time is about patience. It's about understanding your pathway, your journey, and not to be so hard on yourself, not to be so self-doubting or self-doubting or distracted, because distractions just come to us as we distractions come to us as a way of taking us off track. Not sometimes I would say that they're challenges. Often, I'll say, I like to say something like, oh, God doesn't give you what you can't handle. But sometimes I honestly believe that we can be in a position that, say, we want to do something, we know we want to go, and then the universe goes, okay, we're going to test you. Do you really want that? And so they put something in that way, and you grab onto it. Well, that's now just deflected everything that you wanted. So steer forward, steer towards where you want to be, where you want to go. And that's what's going to serve you most. Okay, so that's it for that part of pile one. Of pile two. Okay, so in regards to if you're wanting a love reading, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're not in a relationship, whether your relationship's going through change, whatever it is, first card that comes up is make the effort. Okay, sometimes we're not making the effort. Sometimes we think we are making the effort, but we're not making the effort. Make the effort. And this is also children in this picture. And so what we're having to learn is to make the effort. It's almost of an innocence. Delve into that innocent side of yourself that really doesn't hold on to fear. It just, have you ever watched two little kids where they're in love, like, really young kids? I can remember the first kid that kissed me. His name is Ian. We lived in St. Vital, and he kissed me in an apple tree, as a matter of fact. But anyways, I remember that clearly, and they just do it so because that's what they think they're supposed to do, because they just so have so much passion for you. So this is saying, make that effort, make the effort of a child, without restrictions, without boundaries, without any kind of complications. Just do it, go for it. The second card, wow, it comes up, is calling in your soulmate. So you've asked for your soulmate to come forth. Your prayers, your affirmations, your visualizations are helping to bring you together. You've asked for this person, so don't push them away. Make the effort. Can't just sit here and wait for the doorbell to ring. You have to make the effort. You have to take the steps, okay? Call in your soulmate. Know what you truly want, because if you sit in silence and you connect with your soul star, that is, your soul star knows who and what your soulmate is. They know where they are. And so they will help bring them forward, okay? And the final card is release your ex. So what may be blocking this connection to some degree is that your ex is still, perhaps they think they're in the way, but it's time to clear that energy out of you. And it may be finally time to clear that energy out. It may be finally time to release all of that they're hanging on to, or all the things that, and again, this doesn't always have to be a person that you're with now, but it can be something that's hanging on to you from a past situation that, may have happened when you're 17, 18, 16, 14, 13, I'll just keep going down, 12, 5, whatever age it was, that you held on to a relationship. I had a guy that I went out with when I was 17, and he passed away. And that took me a long time to release. And it wasn't that, I was totally in love with him. I mean, I was at, 16 years old. I definitely was, in a different way, but because we just had so much fun together, and that's that childhood. So perhaps a reminder of that is good, but also to release that. Maybe there's the fear that, somebody else is going to die, or the same thing's going to happen. And our past doesn't predict our future unless we make no changes. Our past doesn't define our future unless we don't make any changes. What defines our future is our today and the choices that we make today. Okay, so the messages from the Hermit Tarot. Thank you, Miss Hermit Tarot. This one's first is really fun. And this is, yeah, nah. And it's, that energy is such that they're really wishy-washy, or you're really wishy-washy, and that becomes a fear. Well, fear doesn't work, so you're not making the effort, and you're not being unbridled, and you're just kind of, yeah, whatever. Sometimes you ask somebody something, and if they answer yeah or nah, you don't really believe them. You don't really want to contend with them. And okay, so this person coming in, sorry, I just go through it. What's happening here is that there's something going on behind the scenes, and this person actually that you're with, or that you're wanting to be with, is being pulled away. And it's almost like they're listening. Well, it is. It says gossip only hurts more. And there's gossip that they're listening to. And I do believe that this comes from their past. If you've been someone that's been broken down, or if you've been someone that has been bullied, if you've somebody that has been made to feel shameful, blameful, guilty, and taken on others' accountabilities for that. You understand gossip and how much it hurts, but you also begin to believe it, or you don't know what to believe, and that creates this craziness, this going around in your head of, should I? Yeah, no, yes, no, because you can't make up a decision. And the truth is you're not getting good advice, or they're not getting good advice. They're getting wrongful advice, and advice based on what they know. So the gossip could be more than one person, but it's gossip or it's information that's based on this gossip. That typically people that gossip are bullies to begin with. They're not confident, or they're not content in their own world, their own life. And so they need to gossip to control a situation, to contain a situation. They think that they are, but really they're not. They're hurting a situation because if it involves other people that are meant to be together, or then that's disrespectful. That's not walking into a relationship in truth, or in love, or in anything, as a matter of fact. So they have to walk through that journey, that path themselves. And so I need to pick another card, and let's see what these cards can give us, just because, to see what two cards, what advice that you're going to get from this. The first piece of advice comes out together, and it's self-belief. Okay, so for you yourself, because this person is being caught up in this drama, you have to go back to this place of self-belief and create that energy and that strength and hold your own. And it just said, outside of jealousy. Jealousy is a green monster. Outside of jealousy. Self-belief is the magic key that opens us up to better and more inspiration, and to the love for our future. And so the final card is creative manifestation occurs more easily when I have nurtured myself and honored my time of fallow. So this releasing your ex is super, super, super important, because you need to release that. It's almost, you need to, and it may be more than one, but you need to find that sorrow, because that's the sorrow you may be carrying around with you. So release that sorrow, allow them their journey that they need to take, knowing that in the end, that childlike innocence is what will bring you back together, and that unity is together you are stronger. Okay, pile number 2, that beast you're reading. And sorry, just take a second. And I'm sorry for the dog that's barking its arse out there, but I'm not sure what's going on. But there's a dog that is really on a mission. Okay. We now go into pile 3. Hi, pile 3. Okay, and these are 2 whoosh over. I have to rearrange before we start. Okay, pile number 3 with the beautiful angel wing, and the number 12, which means you're going through in a new direction. Let's see where Spirit wants to help you out. So I've chosen the Osho meditation deck. Okay, so what is pile 3 needing to learn today to move forward? Okay. The first card that, I've been doing that this way. First card that comes up of what you're suppressing is the card of moment to moment. So it's not what you're suppressing, is that where you're living is the past and the future. And when we live in the past, we don't release it to begin with. We think that everything that's going to happen is going to continue happening the way, same road it is, because we're not making any changes. So we're living in the past. Either we're stuck in it. When we live in the future, we are living on a dream that may not ever happen because we haven't started to live in the present moment and be grateful for that present moment. So start to live in the presence and see the beauty where you are right now. Now, I'm going to share a story because that's what I do. But since 2005, I have moved quite a bit around. And within that moving, the first place was like 40 minutes away from my house, or from my family. And that seemed really far. And it was a little bit devastating until we moved 2 hours away from my family. And then I thought, I wish that I would have just enjoyed where I was at. Because half an hour, 40 minutes was not that long. But I allowed certain situations to manipulate me, to control me, so that I wasn't living in the present moment. And so when I moved 2 hours out of town, I tried to be as grateful as I could. And I did find that gratitude because it was incredibly beautiful. Both places were incredibly beautiful. And it still make me sad in a lot of situations. But I've come to terms with that. Anyhow, so it's to live in the moment. So when I moved back to the city, I began to live moment by moment. I didn't have always that much of a choice because I became very sick. I hadn't realized how sick that I was. And through that, I had to do a lot of healing. My whole entire body had to heal. My mind had to heal. And my world had to heal. So I allowed it to heal. So I lived in the moment of right now. And so that's what you're rejecting, what you're not doing, what you need to do. And so how to do that, how to balance that. Oh my God. Oh, and two interesting cards. The first card to balance that yin and the yang is the dream. And this is the card of nostalgia of the past. And it's of a past love. And this card is clinging to the past. So, honestly, there may have been, I'm not sure if this has to do with a romance or just with your idea of what you thought the future was going to be like. But it's time to let what you thought the future was going to be like to where the future is, to now live right here, to look back and see how far you've come, to see where you've grown, to see the lessons that you've learned in your life, to stop clinging to that past and start nurturing this moment, nurturing your heart, nurturing your body, nurturing the love within yourself. There's a lot of self-love within that card I'm feeling. And so that is by letting go of stopping. You're putting up this mask, and the mask is full of fear, but it's also full of fragments, because the past is never what we thought it was. It's what we choose to make it. Every time we tell a story of the past, we tell it differently, and it becomes more extreme. It's almost like that fish story that, the guy that caught the biggest fish, and it gets bigger and bigger, 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 but no one ever caught a fish at all, because there's no pictures of that fish. So the past isn't always what it thought we thought it was. The other thing that I'm seeing within this card, okay, Spirit's with us right now again. And so there's spirit around you, and they're really trying to give you this sense of, if you actually look in a mirror, so that's what they're saying to do, to look in a mirror and to just slowly uncover that mask that's in front of you, that mask that's taken away from the real you, and see all that you've created in your life. And that is what is going to allow you to start living for the moment, because when you're living in the moment, you're creating in the moment. And I think that's the biggest message. I can just stop here. Sorry, thanks. By living in the moment is creating the moment, and creating the moment creates the next step, creates the future. So living in the moment and not clinging to the past. Wow, this is hugely important. So I just finished saying that Spirit is around you. Spirit is very much around you. This is the guidance that you're receiving. So this is the meditation card. And so what Spirit is asking you to do is to meditate, or to find that time, to find the time of quiet. I'm just a huge believer in meditation, and that's why I say meditation, and that's why I use this meditation spread. And it's to connect with Spirit. It's connect to the angels, connect to your guidance. They will never steer you wrong. They will always steer you in the direction that you most need to be in. Now, I want to just pick 2 cards to go that, because I want to give you an indication of who you, wow. So the first card that's going to help you with this is the card of the Companion. And so, first of all, Spirit is saying, trust in me, allow me to lead you. It's like ride on my wings. Interesting. We had this angel wing. We have spiritual guidance. I got spiritual guidance before, and now we have this Companion being one of the defining cards in that. And the next defining card is the card of nurture. So what we're being asked to do is to nurture our connection with Spirit. Nurture our connection. If you don't know who your spirit guides are, you can do a meditation and ask for your spirit guide, who your spirit guides are. I can maybe find some time, and I will release the video of bringing our spirit guides in. It's one of my favorite meditations to do. When I do meditation, what I do is called a hypno meditation. It doesn't mean you go into hypnosis. It means that you really go deep and locate that that guidance that is necessary for your growth. And that's what's necessary at this time, to nurture that guidance. Okay, so continuing on with Spirit. Okay, I believe we talked about this before, also known as clinging to the past. So the card in regards to your back body, and it's the card of sorrow. And so I think that you have not released whatever was in that past position. This is the card of your body. And because the sorrow felt so awful and painful and hard, we often don't want to go through that sorrow because of the way it makes us feel. But honestly, it doesn't have to be that much. When you have different beliefs, different perspectives, that can change. And again, I'm going to tell you another story. When my father told me that he was going to die, and I remember the day clearly, and we did not know he was sick, and he just said to me, "Come here for a minute." And I said, "Okay." I went to the kitchen. He said to me, "I'm not going to be here for a long time." And I gave him a hug, and, you know, I said, okay. And I trusted in his knowledge, what he knew, because he was the most intelligent person I had ever met, wise person, actually, that I've ever met in my life. And he had lived an incredible life, and he wasn't young. And so when you've lived a life like that, then you can release somebody with that knowing that they have taught you, that they have been there for you, supported you, that their journey has now come to an end. And that's at any age, really. But the younger it is, the harder it becomes. So it's releasing the sorrow that doesn't allow you to fully give, because you think it's going to cause so much pain. But once you release it, it's like, oh my gosh, now you've embraced them and allowed them to be a part of your spiritual community. Okay, that makes sense. We're back to the spiritual community. So the card in position of your noggin, your thinker, is the card of the abundance. Okay, and so in order to to bring abundance forward, in order to create, in order to manifest, we need to stop clinging to that past. We need to now sit in a place of abundance, an abundance of the financial, abundance of the love, abundance of the fun, of the joy. And so it's almost like living that party, being that party. Again, I think I've said this before, but I used to have a friend of mine. There's a song on the radio. It was by a Canadian artist named Jim Cuddy, and it's called Somebody Waits. And it's just, I don't know if it's the words are also positive, but it always made me get up and dance and want to sing to it. So I used to get up and sing to it and dance it at work. And one of the guys that walked in and said to me, "Hey, Lori, I want to be a part of that party that's happening in your head, because it seems really fun." And that's what I love to do, is to get into that place of joyfulness, and that abundant joyfulness of, seeing different aspects and bringing forth, and just being free and alive, and being who you truly are. And we almost have this herd and these sheep that we're wanting to be, and we need to get out of the sheep and be individualists. So the next card is in regards to your heart. And it's the card of awareness. And so it just continues on, is really you're beginning to, open up, take away that mask, take away that past. You're going to allow slowly to become vulnerable and let people into your heart, to allow people into your heart, allow people into your soul, allow people to experience your joy, your commitment, and allow people to enjoy who you truly are in this world, and allow them to see your love, because presenting people with love is a good thing. And don't let anybody tell you it's different. Don't allow anybody ever to tell you that it's the wrong way, that love doesn't cure. Love is the answer. We do need money, and we do need food, and we do need nourishment. All those things, that's absolutely true, but we need to be led by love. Wow. Okay, so the final card is another major arcana card, and this is the card of your spiritual energy, and it's the card of silence. And if you can see that in the sky, that sky is just so content, so much at peace, so much content is the real word. This card really reflects what happens to me during the full moon. I do the opposite, and I know that's part of my path right now, but it's being able to calm our emotions. It's being able to calm those thoughts, those feelings, and become really content, be really at peace with our emotions, and not allow our emotions to rise from us, because we've been living in the past. Now living in this moment gives us this chance to say, hey, I need to take these moments, these moments right now, and honor my glory, honor my journey, honor my path, honor the silence that I had filled up, or that I've filled up with so much chaos, or so much indecision and doubt. And so for you to do that, you can become silence and be good and content within the silence. Okay, so that's that part of the reading, and I want to pull the next 3 cards. And this is my deck. It's a spirit deck of authenticity. And find out, oh, here we go again. So this card is the card of your authentic self. And this is about, again, what we just talked about is balancing. It's not responding out of anger. It's acting out of peacefulness. You can be charming, but you need to, stop running. You need to stop allowing thoughts allowing misguided interpretation, misperceptions to lead you. You need to allow for strength that comes through the heart and strength that comes from truth to guide you. Okay? And the cards of the yin and the yang, interesting. Wow, is this sense of intuition. So this is the shadow side. And the shadow side is that saying that your past most likely tapped into your intuition, and from all of that happened, you really stopped listening to it, and it's time to go back to that place. So that's why you're having to let go, and you're having to refine, and you're having to define again. I'm also going to say that the part that you're not showing people the real you. This card showed this very, very, very much so, that you're not showing people the real you. And you're not showing people the real you. It's hidden deep down. And the real you, and when we're talking about silence, the real you, and it's the wisdom of the sheep. And it is that calm. It is that quiet. It is that place of contentment, of being unique. It's about being in this position. It's about the purity of the innocence of going back to that childhood experiences, of going back to that place, and to remember that you were very gentle. And again, a soul that is very sensitive, and accept yourself, that that's just who you are. So you're a sensitive soul. It's not bad to be a sensitive soul. You need to bring that back. You need to carry that sensitivity, that soulfulness around with you, because that's just who you are. And I have to shuffle these because I did, to some degree, I messed up the cards too much, looking for your reveal self. So what I'm going to say also with this card in this position is, if you're feeling like that you are in this position, doesn't usually say that, but if there is a sense that being alone scares you, it doesn't. There's something else that I'm not getting from here. Oh, it's a turning away from the manipulation. It's that childlike, when we're children, it is a lot of, we learn as children from our parents, but we also learn, some learn, and it's possible that you learned through manipulation. And so going back to that and realizing that, that perhaps you were, and that manipulation, took away that part of that intuition, and knowing to go back to that, that intuition, to that place of gentleness, knowing that you're protected. You may not see that protection, but you are protected. Okay? And the final card is to have faith in your journey. It's really important to have faith. And if I said it once, I've said it a billion times, that fear and faith cannot coexist. It's impossible for fear and faith to coexist. You can't just be a little bit faithful. You have to be all in or nothing at all. That's just the way faith works. And so now we're going into the part of the reading of the love relationship part. So however relationship relates to you. The first card that comes up is playfulness. So really, you need to go back to that part. What this relationship needs more of is playfulness, a commitment to happiness and joy and having fun, and not just being so darn serious. Happiness and fun, and making the effort. Make that effort. Again, this is somebody from the past, or to do with the past, your childhood, remembering that. But it also could be somebody that you met met as at a time when you were younger, but just that commitment of coming together. But this is such a pure, innocent joy and love, because, okay, I'm getting that in past, let's see what this is, past life journeys, and you have been together in past lives. In past lives, I think there's been, I think that there's been some sort of disconnect of some kind. So there's some sort of lesson that you've always had to learn. And this lesson you've had to learn is coming together and to finding that joy and innocence. So it's almost like two people coming together that haven't been always together, or, you know, have had things in the way, but those were lessons that you entered into to learn. The lesson that you entered into to learn at this point is to come together and create a relationship that was fun and joyful and wonderful, and one that people envy. And the final card there is calling in your soulmate. And so you do know that this person is your soulmate, that this person is your soulmate. This person is the one that invites you in, that you know is the one, and that you're committed to, and that spirit wants you to be with, to spend your life with. It's funny because the first card in the last reading from the Hermit tarot deck is, I think it was no, and this one now is, I think so, yes. And so perhaps this person is contemplating whether or not, and they're thinking, and they have too much fear that's blocking them to say yes, but there's going to be a solid yes. It just has to come. Speaking of, and the next card is sex with you. And what I keep saying in this regard is that because there is an importance of the coming together of the sexual experience with you two, and that being that that bond that is so special. This is a making of love. This is a making of a real coming together of a partnership, a commitment, two people coming together that have so much passion and joy for one another, that all their inhibitions, they just go back to that place of innocence and just explore and to love and to be. And so this relationship is improving with